Hello there and welcome to today's video. I'm going to try and draw a Minecraft skin in my style. Stardust on the Stxrdqst has so many amazing skins and have been creating the skins for a few years now. And if you'd like to see any of her skins and download them so you can use them on your characters, feel free to check out her account. I also did ask her if I could recreate the skin drawn in my art style, and she said yes. So the tricky thing was to decide on how I was exactly going to draw her character, as, you know, Minecraft skins are made out of pixels. But I can figure that out later. What really drew me to this skin was the beautiful purple hair and dress and the glowing stars on her outfit. Also her two different colour eyes, which I think looks really cool. You'll also notice on one of her arms and legs there's a really cool like wristband and kind of like, I can't really explain how it is around her leg, I can't think of the word, but it's gold anyway and it looks really cool. So I then moved on to this sketch, and this is where I needed to decide how I want her pose to look. I made her hand kind of reaching up to like touch a star, and then I just made her other legs just go slightly behind each other, like she's kind of in the mid-walking kind of stage. After I got the basic structure of her body down, it was time to begin the fun part of placing down her beautiful dress and hair. Of course, don't forget the hair, although that becomes a very big challenge later on, but I eventually figured it out. Oh, this is the cringy part of keeping all the footage in, is seeing the stages on where I went wrong, and then I eventually changed it, but oh, those fringes were just so bad. So bad. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't have a reference, so I just keep kind of like changing them around, but eventually I even changed this fringe onto the right side of the face because I realized I did it on the wrong side. I eventually changed it to the right side. But if you're wondering what I added a while ago around her, those blue circles kind of going like twirling behind her, I was originally going to make them into stars, but at the end it was just kind of too much, so they just end up staying like blue kind of light behind her. This is where I kind of went wrong. I rubbed out the whole bottom of the dress because I didn't like how it was looking, and then I couldn't get it quite back again. Like, I actually think it looked better before I redid it, but oh well. It worked out in the end. I think I must have lost the clip of doing the dark blue outline because I had so many clips I had to put them together, so you just missed out on that, but it wasn't like really fun to watch anyway. It was just the dark blue. Now it's time to color in the dress. So what I did was just a simple outline of just purple, and then I filled in the rest. So what made me think of originally coming up with this idea was I love playing Minecraft, and I've been playing it with my friends a lot, like making our own servers, and it's so much fun. But it's kind of hard to like find good skins that you like, that are your favorites. And so when I did find some I really liked, I thought they were just so cool, and like I really wanted to recreate them. But like as a drawing, since I'm not good at making Minecraft skins, I'm practicing, I will say, I'm getting better. But maybe one day I'll redraw some of my Minecraft skins as people, I don't know. I'm working on a fairy at the moment. But yeah, I really love the skin, and so I thought it would be cool to like make it as like a 3D drawing. But Minecraft skins are just so cool, and like I keep changing my mind, like I change Minecraft skins quite a lot. But here I am just adding on the glowing stars, and right now I'm just kind of adding on the back of the actual star. So first I have to do kind of like the glow it would give off, and then I add the details of the stars later on. I'm curious, what are your guys' favourite Minecraft like animals or mobs? My favourite are of course the cats and the dogs because you can make them your pet and follow you around, but I love the foxes, as you can probably already tell. They are my favourite animal. But they're so adorable, and when they're like sleep by the they're just so adorable. But I was really disappointed you couldn't like tame them and have them walk behind you, and but I'm still like I still use a lead and make them my pet anyway. But they're just so adorable. I've also been playing on Hypixel with my friends, and Bed Wars is by far like my favourite game on there, and TNT Run. Although when it lags, that's very bad because it glitches you and then you fall. But I really like Bed Wars, it's really fun. So now I am just adding in the skin, and what I did was now I have colour swatches beside me is to get the exact colour, because this was before I did the dress. I didn't know I could do this, so what I did was import a screenshot of her character, and then on Critter you can colour swatch, so then I knew I could actually get the exact colour of her skin. And I didn't realise that until after I did her dress, so then her dress is a different colour than it is on the Minecraft skin, but that's okay, I didn't want to redo it. Also, I still like the colour of her dress, I think it's really pretty, but now I know to get colour swatches more exact, I'm definitely going to use that technique a lot more. I actually started drawing the skin back in early January when Stxrdqst posted the skin about 1 month ago, and then I got stuck on it for quite a while. I couldn't figure out how to do the hair, so I just left it, and I'm really glad I did, because as you'll see soon, the hair, I learned how to do it a lot better, I think, than what I was originally going to do, so I'm really glad I left it for a while to think about it and let it sit. So right here is actually when I came back from my 1 month break, and as you see, I'm starting to sketch out the hair again with more finer, a smaller brush so I could get more finer details, and I redid the face because I did not like it, and so this is where I kind of thought on how to do her hair more detailed with more of the strokes of the hair, and then I changed her face and just reshaping things and changing the sketch, so when I went to do the colour it was a bit more precise, and I'm really glad with that I did decide to change it in the end. So for the hair, I was actually trying something a bit different. Normally with like the dress, I do the colour and then go around with a darker outline. But for the hair, I decided to do the darker outline first. And I way prefer it, like so much better. And in my later drawings that I've been doing lately, I've been doing that first. And I used to do that with like doing black outline, you know, that's the first thing. But I went for a phase of just doing the colour and then a darker outline. But with doing the darker outline first, you can see it much more clearly, and otherwise things just kind of blur together and you can't quite tell where things were supposed to be. So with the new version of her hair, as you could probably tell, before it was very stiff and just kind of like 2 clumps of hair, but this one I really wanted to add kind of like a volume to it and make it kind of have like, you know, it's got more of a wave so it feels like it's more moving, and I really enjoyed adding the highlights. I made sure the darker outline was on a different layer than the highlights, otherwise when I was to go put the highlights it would go over the dark outline and look a bit more messy, so that's the great thing with working with layers. And so I also just quickly put the dark outline over the dress, and the bad thing with doing the dark outline after the colour is that it's very hard to not go, like, to get it to match up the flow of the dress. I couldn't really tell where the lines were supposed to be, so next time definitely do the dark outline first. And just brightening up the glow of the dress. For the background, I just went for more like a starry kind of night, just a deep dark blue. I didn't want to do like an opposite color, like more green or something that would make it like, it would make it pop, but I wanted it to all feel like it was more in the cooler tone, and I think blue looks very nice with the purple. So I just went for a simple background since I wanted her to stand out. And just fixing up her arms because it was just so off. I made her arm, like her elbow, kind of off, and so I had to rechange that, and I changed her armpit, and now colouring in the hand. Oh, I know, I feel like this is just something every artist says, but I do not like drawing hands. They're very necessary, of course. I can't just hide them all behind their back. But the hands I always leave to like pretty much the last of the drawing, like before the last highlights. The hand and feet I leave quite late, which is kind of annoying because then I'm mad at myself for leaving it so late in the process, but I just need to focus all my attention on that hand, and it didn't look awful. Sometimes it looks like a crab hand, where this time it didn't look so bad. And here I'm adding the jewellery. Oh, this is my favourite part, honestly. I just love how it looked and how it came out. That's what I thought looked really cool on the skin. And adding in the choker, which is a nice like jewellery. I added in these weird kind of stars on it, which I did change. I did not like. And then the other arm, it was in like an awkward kind of placement, so I made it look a bit more relaxed, and I shifted it more closer to her body, and then I just coloured that in and added the shadows. And I had a bit of trouble trying to get like how the elbow is supposed to look, and I eventually got. So I have been playing Minecraft for many years, but I have only just got it on my laptop. About last year, end of last year, I got it for the first time on a computer. I've always had it on an Xbox, which I will say, the computer is so much better than the Xbox, just because I had an Xbox 360, so the updates eventually stopped, because it got too old. But the computer, it's just so fun, and I love how the worlds are just, you can keep going, like they're just continuous and they're giant, where on the Xbox they were very small, which is fine, it was still great, but it's just so much more fun of all the new updates. Like, I hadn't actually seen the foxes in the Xbox, and I've got to see all these things, but pillagers are not fun. I keep running into them every time I go into the forest or cut down trees. They're so powerful when you are just starting your world. You can just get wiped out so easily. I'm just filling in the gaps of some of those like blue kind of like stars. I really don't know what they are, but I thought it kind of added some texture or something to look at in the background, but I filled in some gaps because I was looking a little bare. And now her face. It was a little tricky. I always struggled with like the eye placement or like the lips. I'm getting better, but the lips were a little bit of a struggle. The face went through some very ugly stages that you'll see later. Since I felt like there was something a little off with her face, I've been saying that a lot about this picture, I realised, but I tried sculpting her face a little bit, because just the few things that I think, like the cheekbones were a little too low, or her chin kind of connected to her neck, which I didn't quite like for the drawing, so I changed those. So I added a few stray hairs and shading up the forehead and the face a bit. Now onto the eyes, so I added in the whites first, which kind of looks scary, and then I swatched the colours of her eyeshadow of the cyan and purple. I haven't actually drawn on eyeshadow on any of my drawings before, so I actually really like how this turned out. It was a fun thing to try. And then I tried doing the irises. It's kind of hard to get them placed right to make them not look creepy, but I eventually get there. I have to normally readjust the lash line because sometimes I made them a little high in some points, so then I like moved them down, and then I also did some detail on the lips. So I just add some freckles on her nose and her cheeks just because I thought it would give some nice texture to her face as she looked a bit flat. So here I'm just drawing the bright gold star that she's kind of like found, because I thought the blue background kind of shows like it's kind of like midnight, so I thought like the bright gold star just to make it pop, and it matches her jewellery, so I thought it would make both kind of balance. And then I just add my signature, which I do end up adding a slight bit of blue behind it, because since it's black writing on the dark blue, it blended in, so later I do add a bit of highlight behind it. Here is when I realised the face did not have a dark outline around it. How the nose has a dark outline of the skin colour, I realised the face had none of it and some of the arms didn't, so after I added that I thought it looked so much more put together and better, so I'm really glad I figured that out. It took me a while to realise I didn't do that. I added some more of those little stars around the dress because I thought it looked a little empty, so I added some more highlights on the bigger stars and added more patches of the little tiny ones just so the dress looked a bit more fuller. So here is where I tried something new. Normally with my style I don't usually do quite bright highlights on things, but I really wanted to try and mix it up because I've seen that on some other artist drawings and I really like how it looks. So I added some bright highlights on the hair and some on the skin. Just to remind you how Stxrdqst's beautiful skin looked like before I showed you my drawing, and I really loved this skin and I think it is so beautiful and I hope she makes more like it. And here is the finished drawing. I really hope Stxrdqst likes it, as I just love her skin and I'm such a fan of it. This drawing took me about a total of 4.5 to 5 hours. It is a bit longer than my normal one, but I'm so glad I put a lot of time and effort into her hair and the feet, which are strange things to talk about, but those are things I normally really struggle in, so I'm glad I pushed through and got it finished. Feel free to check out my Instagram. I post little hints on what the next video is going to be about, and I'd love to do an Instagram like helps create a character where you put polls and people vote on certain aspects of the character, and I'd love to design a character with you guys, so that would be really fun. Thank you so much for watching and spending some time to watch my video. It means a lot and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye!